Okay, didn't go through. Let's try that again.
It says watch live.
Oh, really?
I got a thing.
But okay. Oh. Is it on? Is it on? All right, everybody, welcome back to Stratego Freaks for another match for the King of Strategus crown. This is going to be between our current champ, Nemesis, and he's going to be playing a very talented young player in Skyfall, a guy that has taught me quite a bit. And being so precocious as he is, he's a very tough opponent for anybody out there. So this should be a pretty interesting match between these two guys. I'm going to just talk a little bit while these guys get into the match. We'll wait patiently for them. And yeah, I actually have a video on Stratego Freaks, an instructional, where I used one of the games between Skyfall and I, where he did a pretty nice spy move on me and gobbled up my marshal. It was pretty crafty, so I enjoyed that and decided to use it on the channel for an instructional video. And, it looks like Mirage wanted to jump in there. Play for a second. Mirage, I believe, took second place in the... All right, here we go. So these guys are setting up. Let's watch the game. Can you get on your YouTube and make sure this is on? Okay, so once again, I really have no idea what these guys are going to do. Once again, both players are pretty well versed and do diverse games, and I'm expecting something entirely different from Nemesis, but who knows. And yeah, so prepare for a real interesting match, and I'm looking forward to it. Just to go over the rules of this game, if it does end in a draw, both players will lose, and I'm not quite sure how we'll figure out what the next two matches to see who the champ would be again. I debated that idea of having the tie end in both players lose, but I think it actually makes sense for this format. It forces these players to go for it, even the champ. I've always been a proponent of the king has to be defeated to lose his crown, but I think it makes it interesting to force the players to go for the win. Thank you. So that is one of the kind of nuances of this format, where if it's a tie, you both lose. So it makes these guys go for it, which is pretty cool. Depending on 1 second. Do me a favor, guys. When you're watching the match, try to keep your comments in regards to piece placement, anything that would give one of our contestants here an advantage. So we don't want to call out where pieces are, what they are, and your general consensus. It's okay to comment on the game as they take place and put your 2 cents in there, but let's be respectful and allow these guys to figure this game out on their own. Both players taking their time setting up, and that's generally a good idea when you're playing a high stakes match like this. Yeah, I've really enjoyed playing Skyfall. He's as I mentioned earlier, a pretty talented player, and both of these guys have not hit their peak. And away we go. All right, early scout. And we'll just see how this game plays out. One thing when I play with Nemesis is he loves to switch gears against me, and he can play aggressive or passive or a little of both. And that's probably a good idea. And so does Skyfall, for that matter. Both players moving quickly. First exchange. Captain revealed. Marcy conquered in there. All right. First big piece revealed, Colonel on the A file. You know, once again, I do expect a very tight match. These guys have played each other quite a few times and have had pretty mixed results. All right, Major on the J file, moving back. All right, Captain gone. Colonel, known Colonel now. Definitely had some high pieces come out early. This could turn out to be quite an aggressive match. We'll see. Exchange of sevens there. So if we're looking at the Boneyard, Skyfall with the slight advantage with the scouts and the captain there. Skyfall with the slight time advantage. Nemesis really thinking through what he wants to do and how to progress with this position. Okay, Major down, General revealed. Yeah, I expect these two players to be competing against each other for many years to come. Yeah, that's one thing about Stratego. There are a number of young, very young players who are pretty talented for their age, and they're only going to get better as time progresses. You can see that skill level, and the top 10 guys, it's sometimes I feel like they're psychic. It's just like they know, and it isn't psychic. It's experience. It's just realizing the tendencies, the odds, understanding a GTO mindset, and that just comes with practice. As with anything else, so you put the time in, you get pretty good. And being smart doesn't hurt, and these top 20 players are all pretty smart. And that's why I'll probably never get to the top 20. But I will give it a go, that's for sure. Nemesis down 2 minutes in time. Once again, I'm hoping the audio is working out pretty well. And forgive me if I don't respond to any comments in the live stream comment box. I'm kind of just focused on the match, and I missed a move yesterday near the end when the general hit a bomb, and I was too busy. I was multitasking, kind of looking off somewhere, and although I saw it was taken, I didn't even comment on it, which was a mistake on my part, and I'm looking not to do that again. Okay, so now we're even in the scouts. And Skyfall pushing down. Yeah, once again, I won't be calling out any known pieces because, I don't want to, if I know that these two guys wouldn't be accessing the live stream to get any advantages, but I can't say that for everybody out there. And once again, I'm not going to be commenting. All right, so Nemesis has revealed the Marshal. And he's coming down. So known Gen, known Marshal. Aggressive push by Nemesis. And now the Gen of Skyfall is revealed. Coming back. Exchange. Skyfall probing, looking for perhaps a bomb, trying to find that tripod if there is one. Another exchange. Both guys have their pieces well placed, very even. Skyfall pushing on that. Yeah, Nemesis unsure if that is the spy. And one thing I like to do is review these games. You know, right now I have all kinds of theories in my head about where pieces are, which I will not be revealing, but I like to see how close I am in my thoughts when the game is over. Nemesis down 4 minutes here. That could play a factor at the end of this game. You know, when the time is crunching, it's hard to make good decisions. Give me a moment. Exchange of kernels. Exchange of gens. Yeah, if you're new to the game and you did find this stream, this is, you know, two pretty good guys to learn from. I do know that Nemesis enjoys playing new players and giving any, you know, passing on any knowledge that he's picked up over the last, you know, year or so. So feel free to reach out to him if you want to play a game with him. He'd love to play you. I believe this is a ranked match. They're not obligated to play ranked in these, but once again, both guys are competitive and aren't afraid to put their ELO on the line, and they'll play pretty much anybody. Nemesis taking a long time here. It's hard to say where the flag would be. You know, once again, I mentioned yesterday that I'm always thinking of where the flag could be. And obviously there's no tripod on the E through A file. That's not to say it could not be an open flag. But I think both players are going to play a more traditional position and keep it bombed in. It's hard to say though. Yeah, I mean, it does, like, if there was a tripod situation, we're looking from that F file all the way through J for Skyfall, and there could be tripods on Nemesis C through J. But once again, they could be entirely open. I just don't know. A lot of tension in this, you know, in the center here. Some shuffling going on, and you know, at some point that's going to break. Nemesis down to 8 minutes. Both players being very crafty, playing a shell game here, not giving much information away. Okay, Colonel. First miner off the board. Yeah, a guy like Skyfall, he does love an active spy. Could be anywhere on the board. Push there with the 6 and chases that away. Miner gone. 6 exchange. Very even game thus far. One scout left for each guy. Skyfall has the captain advantage. Nemesis with the major advantage. Seven minutes left. Nemesis, 13 for Skyfall. Alright, pieces are moving quicker. Expect to see some action here. Yeah, forgive me if I don't talk over the entire game. A lot of times I just want to watch and kind of make my own assessment. Mystery piece coming up the A file. New pieces moved over on the J file. Skyfall's moved quite a bit of pieces. Skyfall with the 6-7 minute time advantage here. Both players being pretty patient here. Nobody committing really, just more, just kind of trying to figure things out here and hope, looking for that first mistake possibly, or that first solid read. Nemesis pushing down that A file. Oh, he's looking to scout that piece. Minor exchange. All right, Nemesis out of scouts. One left for Skyfall. Very patient game by both guys. It's coming. Time is ticking. Very interesting here. Skyfall running over. Skyfall trying to make a move down the center. Very interesting match. He's coming over to support. Oh, okay. Everything's moved on this side over here, but that back row. Pushes. Nemesis thinking this one through. Ten-minute time advantage for Skyfall. This could be a sequence that really gives one player an advantage. We'll see. And there's the Marshal. Okay, so very even game. Both Marshals known. Both spies still on the board. Giving up Nemesis, giving up the major advantage, but finding out the marshal, that kind of had to happen, I believe, in this game. Very close. Yesterday's game was quite a long game, and it looks like this one might be too. Major exchange. So if we're looking at the board here, if you follow my cursor, Nemesis has 1, 2, 3, or 4 possible tripod locations. If we're looking over here, I can't remember if this, I don't think this E-pawn moved, but, or I should say E-piece moved, but it would be another exchange. It could be 1, okay, 2, or 3 tripod locations. Very even game thus far. And there goes the spy. Good scout by Skyfall there. Utilizing his last scout when he needed to. And that, you know, every piece becomes important. A scout at the end of the game can win you the game, or get you that information that you need. So, you know, when I'm playing, I always try to reserve. I try to reserve 1 or 2 scouts for the end game. Whether it's just discovering a high piece or taking the spy, just like we saw, discovering that important bomb, or maybe just scouting the flag. You know, I've won a ton of games in losing positions, mind you, by just having a scout, you know, opening up the flag and getting there. So, as I said, every piece becomes important in the end game. Skyfall being very tricky with his spy today. Skyfall barely using any of his time. Nemesis down to 2 minutes. Skyfall with pieces down in Nemesis' setup, pulling back. I believe Skyfall was just feeling out, bringing it down, possibly making it look like a minor, wanting to see if Nemesis would hit, maybe revealing some weakness there. push. Probing. Nemesis pushing in. Trying to find something. A lot of the structure in Skyfall's position has been revealed, but it could just be an open flag. It's hard to say. Now Skyfall coming down. A minute 20 on Jack's or Nemesis's clock. See who's watching. Got a nice little turnout. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Jack under the minute mark. Oh. I can hear Nemesis's clock dinging in the other room. Now the pressure's really on. Gets the spy, loses the minor. But that changes things quite a bit. Nemesis really trying to figure out what to do in this situation. Goes down. Now he's down to 7. He's checking that piece. Picks up a minor. That was a bold hit. Oh, and he hits the bomb. He was going for that open flag. Pretty big play at this time in the match. Skyfall has a 2-piece advantage. That's a nice hit there. He got that back. He faked it as a minor, and he needed to see it. Will that pay any dividends? Let's see. 45 seconds left on the clock for Nemesis. So the one tripod location, still a few, 3 over here for Nemesis. Skyfall's going to make a decision here. He's got 2 minors left. Each one is very valuable. Pushes to stop. exchange. One left for Skyfall. Reminding that if this is a draw situation, both players will lose. Nemesis looking for the final miner. Looks like some shuffling is going to happen. Nemesis forcing Skyfall to make a decision. Oh, Nemesis making a run up the right side of the board. If this is a minor, could be very close here. Oh, and there's a well-placed 7 there, stopping that attack. One minor. Oh, and he hits the flag. Nemesis hits the flag. What an exciting game. Wow, that could have went either way, and I believe that was an open flag. So I think being a little desperate on time and that little material disadvantage, he had to make a move, and he went for it. And wow, that was very exciting and unexpected, in my opinion. But hey guys, that was a fun game to watch. Let's put our hands together for both combatants here. Skyfall, class act, great kid, exciting player. Nemesis the same, and I know these guys, put their hearts into that match. So once again, congratulations to both players. That was very exciting. So great job, guys. I appreciate you. And everybody tuning in. I see all my friends out there, and we all appreciate the support. Marcy, Etraf is in there now. Karna, VNP, Concord, Panther. I believe there was a few other. Christian was in there for a while. And, always thanks for the support. Guys, we're going to be doing this on a regular. I think we're going to take a few days off. I want, there to be one match per week, maybe a couple, as to not kind of overdo the King or the Crown series here. But another fun game to watch there, guys. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe to Stratego Freaks, and we'll see you guys soon. I'll be probably playing a few games later, and hope to kick your butt on there. All right, guys. Have a good one.